Hello everyone, this is Coach Aftermel. I'm going to quickly run through the formation we're going to be working on. Here is the 4-2-3-1. This is the basic setup. These are your center backs, outside fullbacks, defensive mids, attacking midfield, and your striker. This video will focus on positioning from 3 different perspectives: defensive, transition, and offensive. This video will show you the position of players in all 3 aspects of the game, and we will also talk about the style of play for each position, and that means skills to have with the ball and the mindset to have without the ball. Now, before we get into the individual skills and mindset for positions, there are 5 things that you need to know about this formation. Number 1, outside fullbacks must attack wide. This is very key, and I'll explain why as we get more in depth. Number 2, the defensive mids and center attacker must stay central. This is key defensively, but also for us for being able to transition into offense. Number 3, in order to possess the ball, we must have angle movement and angle passes. It's very important. And number 4, defend your zones. Don't try to do too much and help out where you're not supposed to. Pick up the players that come through your areas. Number 5, turnovers in the middle of the field are very, very dangerous. Now, I know you know this, but it's especially important as we transition into the offensive phase as the fullbacks push up wide. This means we have less defenders back, and this means we're more susceptible to through balls or fast transitions the other way. I'm going to work out of the back. So first up here is our center backs, and this is the positioning area. Remember to stay in this zone. And you want to think of the center backs almost as a double sweeper where you two are the last line of defense. If needed, you may drop out and help out the outside fullbacks, but when this happens, defensive mids must drop into the center back's position, so communication will be key when this does in fact happen. This is the positioning in the defensive third, and if the ball is possessed here, no risk can be taken. Absolutely no turnovers. Without the ball, you must have a killer mentality. Means trying to clear everything in that goal scoring area, and you need to be a vocal leader, telling people who to mark and where to line up. And you must at all costs protect the goal scoring area, which is this area here. In the middle third or transition, this is the positioning, and in the attacking third, this is the position. You won't really go over half field. Outside fullbacks. Your mentality is 50% defensive, but also 50% attacking, which might be different than most people are used to. Your positioning is outside the 18s and the length of the field. It's simple, but in no way is it easy due to the amount of running that is required. When in possession in the defensive third, you're looking for angled passes into the defensive mids or to the attacking mid on that side. If we do not have possession, you're looking to pick up anyone that's coming into your zones here. If the ball is out wide, the opposite fullback should drop into a help position within the goal scoring area here. If the ball is in the middle third, with or without possession, you should be around half, looking to get involved. And the offensive third, you should be pushing up the field, supporting the forwards in the attacking midfield. A typical play is going to be a through ball to the outside fullback making a run to the corner, and you should look to hit a cross here. Either a nice low line drive or a looping cross to the back post. The other outside back should read the ball. Most likely don't get involved though, unless they feel they'll be wide open, but you don't want to exhaust yourself pushing up and down the field all game. With the outside fullback, it's all about understanding the situation, when to attack, and when to defend. Keep in mind that you're more defensive first, but you are required for the offense as well. Defensive mids. Now, this is the most important position in this formation, and this is their positioning area here. It's between the 18s, and it's about up to the offensive third area there. If in possession in this area here, you're looking for an angled pass back to one of the outside fullbacks, an angled pass up to the attacking mid, or an angled pass up to the center attacker. Now, you will be a key player for transition. If the outside fullback has the ball, you will move into an angle for support, while the other defensive mid will step up for an angle from here. If the attacking mid has the ball, you're going to angle yourself for support here. And the other defensive mid will drop back for more support. Remember, work the angles. If one defensive mid steps up, the other one drops back a little bit. Now remember, you must always want the ball. You're consistently moving for support. Your two objectives in the defensive third are to force the play outside, where play is less dangerous, and protect the goal scoring area. Remember, if the center back goes to help over at the fullback, you should be stepping into that space. In the middle third, again, and this is very important for transition here, you need to want the ball. Remember to continue to stagger yourselves. You got to be a great passer here as well. We can't afford a turnover here in the middle of the field because we're very susceptible to through balls and to fast transition play. You must make great decisions. Is it to make a pass to the corner for a fast break? Should you delay, allow the fullbacks to move up? You need to be able to read the situation and react appropriately. And in the offensive third, notice the defensive mids are still staggered. Do not get caught too far up, because this is pretty much the extent of your range. If you go too far, we lose the defensive coverage we need as the outside fullbacks are pushing up. And we will only have two defenders back, so don't go too far up the field. Just play smart and keep that in mind. If we lose possession here, you want to drop straight back. And again, protect the middle, forcing play to the outside. Do not attack or try to cut off their transition. Protect the dangerous area and allow time for the fullbacks to recover and to mark those players coming from the outside. Center attacker. This is the area you're going to be playing in. As you can see, very little defense is played, and you're not going to go too far beyond that center circle at half. And there's going to be opportunities in the offensive zone to sneak out to the corners for crosses as well. But for the majority of the time, you're just going to be kind of hanging out in this zone here. When the ball is possessed in the defensive third, you're consistently angling yourself to receive the ball from whoever possesses it. You're going to be going back and forth in the middle, but not going too far beyond the center circle, and you can basically think as the goal box is kind of the limit of where you want to be going. Now, if you drop back on defense, we may win the ball here, but there's no one in the middle now to possess it and to outlet the ball because a big vacancy has been created. As we possess through the middle third, you're still consistently angling yourself to receive a pass. Now, if you possess the ball here, you have a few options. You may want to lay it off to the outside fullback. You could play an angle up to the left attacker, or even an angle up to the striker if it's available, looking maybe for a through ball potentially, or if you need it, an angle back to the defensive mid. You should have plenty of options here. Either fast-paced, depending on the situation, with maybe a through ball to the striker, to the outside attacker, or even to the fullback making a run. You can also look to develop it back to the fullback or defensive mid to buy some time to set up the offense. You could even look to switch the ball to the right attacker, who should be cutting in here. In the attacking third, you are a goal scorer. You're looking to make a run in for a header on a cross, or attacking near post for a low line drive cross. Now, you also could receive a ball laid off to you by the striker or the outside attacker, which you're looking to just hit this one time right on frame, no hesitation, just hit it as hard as you can. Now, if we lose possession here, your objective is just to harass the attacker and to delay their push into the offensive end as much as you can, giving time for our teammates to recover. Now, the outside attackers. This is their positioning. Note that they're not going outside too far because that space is going to be reserved for our outside fullbacks who are going to be pushing up the outside of the field. When in the defensive third, you pick up anyone who comes into these spaces. Now, you're not going too far out because remember, we need to have our spacing correct so that we can get out in transition. When in possession here at the outside fullback or the defensive mid, you're working the angle to receive a pass from these players. You're just moving to an angle. The opposite attacker would sink in at this point. Again, you're looking to just create those angles so that we can get the ball out and move into transition. When in possession in the middle third, you will be more central, again allowing lanes for those outside fullbacks to make runs up the outside. If you're too wide, you're clogging up the space and making us easier to defend. A typical play might be a through ball to the outside fullback, a pass up to the central attacker or striker, or even a pass back here to the defensive mid in order to reset the offense. Now, as we push up into the offensive third, you're expected to score goals. You may receive a layoff pass from the outside fullback, while the other outside attacker should be prepared for a cross. If in possession here, you're expected to have a go, or play a ball in here to the striker, but most of the time you're going to be looking to score from this position. Now, you could also play it out to the fullback, or even a pass back to the defensive mid who could swing it around. There should be a lot of options here, but you're looking to attack and score. Now, to sum it up, you need to stay more central and leave those flanks open for the outside fullbacks to make their runs. You don't always have to stay central, and you will have opportunities to go outside, but that's the mindset you should have. If we lose possession here, you're again expected to just delay the advancement of our opponent. Now the striker. Here is their positioning, and as you can see, you're pretty much going to play no defense as the striker, but you need to make sure that you hold at half field to keep our opponent's defenders high and do not come back to help. When the ball's in our defensive third, you have no responsibilities except for staying high. If we have possession, you're still lingering up at the top, putting pressure on their left defenders by moving back and forth, depending on the positioning on the ball, making sure to hold the defender's attention. And every once in a while, you may receive a through ball where you can make a run. In the middle third, you're still putting pressure on that last defender. You're still looking for a through ball, perhaps to run onto, if that's available. You need to just be checking back to the ball and then clearing that space out as well. If you're in possession at this part of the field, you're looking to take someone on one-on-one. If that's not there, if it's not a one-on-one, if it's 1-on-3 or 1-on-2, don't try it. Try to delay the ball by laying a pass off to one of the outside attackers or a drop pass to the central attacker or defensive mids. You're trying to buy time for your teammates to push up the field. You'll play with your back to the opponent's goal almost the entire time, so you're going to have to be comfortable with not really seeing what's behind you. In the offensive third, you're looking to score. Now, there's lots of ways that this can happen, but if you're possessing the ball at this point, your number one thought should be to shoot. If not, you might want to check back to the ball here to receive it, or cutting for a low line drive cross, or maybe going back post for a cross on your head. There's lots of opportunities, but you need to be causing mayhem in this area, in the goal scoring area. You're looking to receive through balls here, a cross, maybe someone dropping it off. Again, numerous ways that you should be able to get the ball, but you're extremely active here with a goal scoring mindset. Remember, laying it off to either of these outside attackers is also a possibility, but we're just trying to get one on frame here if possible. If you need to, you can swing around those outsides as well, checking to the ball, looking to score. Okay, here's a summary of all positions through all three phases. Here the ball is in the defensive third. As you can see with this formation, we really control the middle of the field and the goal scoring area. Lots of angles are already created to allow us to quickly transition to offense, but we need to be here in the middle of the field defensively to force the ball outside. And this is how we should look here in the middle third, still controlling the middle. This is obviously very important, and don't leave the middle open. That's how we're going to transition up and recover back defensively. Now in the attacking third, we really flood the goal scoring area. You need to make them defend us, and don't be as concerned about a turnover. The majority of players should be with us in this space because we're forcing them to mark us here. No matter where the ball is on the field, we control the middle, and we have the angles already set up for possession. Now this is just the basic setup, and from here we can set up plays and get used to game situations. There are a few ways we're going to be able to vary this formation as well, but if we're able to master this, I am very confident that we're going to have a very, very successful season this year. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I look forward to getting started. And I can't wait to beat Salem and have a championship banner put up in that gym. Thanks, guys. See you soon.